Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe Origins figure, and this time it is that cartoon collection that I like. I've really fallen in love with this, and this one is Faker. And yes, I finally was able to get a hold of one that had the head in the package. Oh man, crazy stuff, crazy days. But after about 4 weeks of trying to reach Paul Mart store, they finally gave me a refund, and I was then able to find one somewhere else. So glad to have him, because this is what I really wanted. I know it says Faker, but to me this is He-Man, and because I like that extra head. That head looks epic to me. But it's great to have this guy in the collection. There's your 40th anniversary She-Ra sticker. And this new packaging just looks so nice. Cartoon collection. There's that beautiful artwork on the back. Looking cool. And there is our He-Man showing the extra head. And the other selling points there. Catra. She even comes with her transformed version of the cat, from what I've seen in pictures. But let's go ahead and break open this guy. So tickled to be able to have this head. I like this head sculpt. We're going to be trying him on different He-Man bodies and check him out, as well as this body. But let's go over here to Eternia and check out He-Man, or Faker. And here we are to take a look at our cartoon collection, Faker. And his accessories, he comes with a power sword, a nice, really nice metallic looking power sword, definitely Filmation inspired. He comes with, of course, the head that you see that has the mimic of the glowing eyes, kind of like the mechanical head. But then he also comes with this really nice looking He-Man head that has more of an action, angry, getting ready to go after somebody head. And I think this is a head that many of us really wanted and like. And it's probably why a lot of people are picking up this guy and why he's going to be so popular. But also, there are a little bit of upgrades. You know, the face, of course, but also, from what I've seen in pictures, this sheath is a little bit different from the original He-Man cartoon collection He-Man, and so that is also something to take notice of, and that's could be counted also as a accessory, because it does pop off. As you see, there's a tab and it just pops into place, and you can also remove this harness, so that's really cool. And of course, you can slide that sword right into that nice sheath, which is really cool. It really fits and looks better than even what we got in the Mattel Club Grayskull or the Super 7 Club Grayskull He-Man sheath and sword ability of fitting. But, you know, in the Mattel one, it would swivel, so you could have it this way or have it that way. This one, because of the angle, it's only going to be able to be plugged in so that it is going to be in that direction. And if you remember in the Filmation cartoon, sometime you'd see it this way on He-Man, and sometime you'd see it that way. But that's just a nitpick. But that is really nice. And here's what we were all wanting to see. We wanted to see Faker with this He-Man head. And whether you were to put it on this body and actually make this your He-Man, or if you just make it your Faker without the glowing eyes and do kind of stop motion where they're blinking, and because that is basically the same head sculpt, just with the eyes, with that supposedly glowing eye effect, with the white out just, you know, in the eyes and around the edges. But or if you want to pop this head on your original cartoon collection He-Man, however you'd like. But this is definitely a good He-Man head. Looks really nice and is just really cool. I think it has a very good Filmation look to it. Not as close as Mattel or Super 7 did in their Club Grayskull heads. They just about nailed the Filmation cartoon type design, but I still say this is a really nice looking He-Man head, or Faker. And I always forget the comic book almost, but anyway, he comes with a comic book. It's called The Onslaught to Snake Mountain. Onslaught to Snake Mountain. It's got Catra and Leech and even He-Man with one of those weapon type things that we had in the 80s. And so it looks really good. That's so cool. You see Snake Mountain in the background back there. Always beautiful artwork on these comic books. So neat. All right, now let's take a look at our Faker's Articulation. All right, bringing our Faker on in here / He-Man. We're going to be able to see that he's able to look up that much. He's going to be able to look down pretty much all the way. Looks really good there. He also gets really nice head pivot, so you're going to be able to get some really good expressions. And of course, it'll turn all the way around. He's got full 360 with those arms. He's going to be able to get a full T-pose. He also has single jointed elbows with that swivel. So it's definitely going to bend at 90 degrees and have the swivel at the elbow for both sides. We only get weapon holding hands here, and unfortunately, they're both horizontally hinged. No vertically hinged hands this time for He-Man, which He-Man should always come at least with a set that has one horizontally hinged, so he can hold that sword aloft. But I guess being this is Faker, they're thinking, nope, you'll have to buy He-Man to get that. But if you can find him, you can't really find him anymore. But he will swivel at the waist. There's no upper diaphragm, of course, articulation, but he will get full splits. He doesn't have really any thigh rotation. He'll be able to kick up that far. He's got single jointed knees with that swivel ability. He's also got swivel at the boots. He's going to be able to get full tiptoes with that foot. He's going to be able to go up almost all the way. And he gets excellent rockers with a peg hole in the bottom, which is nice. And he really won't kick back any. So I was going to mention that. But you can see that he has your typical Origins articulation. And again, this does not swivel, but it is all removable. And of course, you can just take that sword and pop it in that hand. And again, it will swivel and bend like that. So there you go. All right, now let's do the important part. Really important part for this Faker. And that's do some comparisons. And here is our cartoon He-Man and our cartoon Faker from the Origins line. And you can see the difference between this He-Man head. Still, again, very much inspired, I believe, by Filmation. And this one basically just has a little bit more of an angry look, open mouth, more furrowed brow with eyebrows bending down inward with that mouth with some teeth showing. You can even see some, chiseledness to that jawline there because of that, all of that going on. So I think it's really nice looking, and it bears, just noticing how good I think this head looks. And of course, here he is beside Stratus, our cartoon Stratus. There's Teela over there, and of course they're very short, as we've talked about. You can check out my review on those. And there's She-Ra. You can check out my review on her. They're very, very small in scale next to these guys, and that's unfortunate because even though they really look good, the scale is off. But there we have it. There's Faker with that awesome head sculpt. And let's look at that head sculpt on some other He-Man heads. Let's just see how it does. And I wanted to quickly compare these two heads with our Club Grayskull by Mattel. There's our Club Grayskull type Filmation style head sculpt by Mattel. And here's our Filmation head sculpt by Super 7. And then you can see kind of how they measure up with these He-Man. So I think these definitely look more like the Filmation. To me, a lot of people felt like Mattel did the most. I always thought the Super 7 head looked more like Filmation. But, that's up to each individual's interpretation and look there. But definitely looks good. All of these do. And I do want to try on this head sculpt on a Masterverse figure, this new one here. So let's do that now. Okay, so here is a Masterverse, and this is our Revolution style He-Man body. because you can see it has like the traps that go up the neck are a lot larger than what we got in the Revelation, or even in some of the other New Eternity, like the, you know, like the Viking and that kind of thing. So I was just curious to see how this will look. All right, so the skin tone isn't too bad. Pops on that ball joint because it is the exact same size. Now dim the lights just a hair here. But what do you think? Does that look good? I think the scale is okay. Still able to look up, look down, still able to get some pivot. Yeah. So that looks pretty decent in my opinion. Looking good. Let's compare some heads now. All right, just to look at a few heads. Here we have our 2-pack Stranger Things He-Man. We have the one we're just looking at here on a Revolution body. Hordak MX Mundo style head here, which I really like. And then my very favorite Classics head, which is inspired by Vintage. That's the Vintage Classic head on a Revolution Battle Armor He-Man. Both of these are Revolution Battle Armor He-Man bodies with wearing the battle armor. And so, yeah, I think they look pretty decent. I mean, I know, you know, this is a little bit more on the cartoony side, which it's Cartoon Collection. But if you wanted kind of like a Filmation look to a He-Man with a Masterverse body, I think it works. The skin tone works. The color of hair works. And the face works. And I like it. Very cool. And there's Tila and Stratos. And there's our Stranger Things 2-pack He-Man, which I really like. And here's our new He-Man head or Faker head next to our Prince Adam, cartoon Prince Adam. And of course, there is our beautiful Cringer. And they're looking really good together in this comparison. And just for grins and giggles, here is the Super 7 Faker head that came with the Ultimate He-Man by Super 7, the Club Grayskull Super 7 Ultimates that came with this Faker head, like kind of like, you know, Skeletor is working on him. And I just do not like the Origins cartoon Skeletor. So I'm like just bending his knees to make him look short. But I mean, compared to this, I mean, they nailed it here. This looks just like he stepped out of the Filmation cartoon. And I don't know what they were thinking with the, except for the fact that those stupid masks can clip on. This face here, the Origins, does not look, cartoon line does not look anything like the Filmation in my opinion. But I just thought this was cute. So this is with Skeletor working on him before he had his final face. Looking funny, isn't it? But it works. Just heat up that head a little bit with the hair dryer and it pops right on. And then finally, here is our Faker He-Man head that I really like, along with our He-Man head from the original cartoon He-Man. And then look at here. Here is our 40th anniversary Origins, the Dynasty or the Generations of He-Man that we got in that collector set. Wanted to see how that head measured up with these other Filmation heads. So which one do you think looks most Filmation? These, because this is pretty much the same head just with a different expression, or this one? I think they did a better job with these actually now that I see them side by side. And then New Adventures He-Man and 2000X He-Man and CGI Netflix He-Man with his Battle Cat looking good here. So you can see them all lined up here together. Looking cool. Looking neat. Just comparing these faces here. Alright, now that is pretty cool. I put the Filmation type head from the 40th anniversary Generations pack on this Faker body, and of course his sword does fit here, that that back metal sword. And I don't know, I really like that head. It really looks good. It definitely gives off a Filmation vibe. But I like this one too. I think the hair is better here as far as the Filmation. Yeah. I think the hair is just a tad better on this one. But, you know, to each their own. But that's cool. You can definitely switch it out there and give him that back metal blade if you want to, the sword, I mean. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. Come back and see us again soon. Like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you've not done so. We appreciate it. It helps the channel. And comment if you have something to share. I'd love to hear from you. Hey, we got some new reviews coming up soon. The A-Team van by Ramen Toys. And we have a new Extreme Sets backdrop that I'm calling the G.I. Joe background that we're going to use for that review. But anyway, we'll be reviewing those real soon. Come back and see us. Be blessed. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.